How do you frame an argument? To understand how to do it, you have to understand this principle. Your perception is your reality. The way you see things is the way you see things. But the issue is it the truth? Sometimes two people can look at the same thing and see two different issues. So if you're trying to frame an argument, one of the best ways to frame it is to understand how the other person might view it. And if you can view it in a way that causes them to see it the way you do, or more importantly, the way that things actually are, then your success is more probable. Question number one. You're a big fan of the Cincinnati Reds. You'd like to take your date to drive with you to Cincinnati to watch them play. Instead of explaining why this particular game will be so competitive and exciting to you, who is a Cincinnati Reds fan? To you, Mr. Meredith. You describe to her where in the ballpark you'll be sitting, the food and the beverages you'll be enjoying, and the two great friends you'll be sitting with. What form of clarity are you employing to persuade her to go to the game with you? Ms. Rising.
Experience.
Why?
Because instead of listing all the positives that you think are good to you, you're kind of catering to her needs and like what she's going to get out of it, her experience.
Exactly. And when you do that, positive images to her come up. So she doesn't have to say, baseball, that's boring. I like baseball. It is a boring game. It's a chess match. Every pitch from the pitcher is a different situation. And both coaches arrange the infield and the outfield and put the right batter in to give themselves an advantage. It's a terrific chess match. If you want your son or daughter to understand baseball, take them to a game early when they're 5 or 6 years old and teach them how to score. Can your parents do that? Yeah, teach you how to score a baseball game and what every pitch means. And oh, it was great. It just opened up the whole game because now you got something to do every minute of every game. And you're just not watching. All right. Answer is experience. Number 2, you want this hot dude to take you to the movies. Instead of talking to him about all the movies playing at the Regal Hollywood 27, D, experience. Instead of talking to him about all the movies playing at the Regal Hollywood 27, you ask him if he would rather watch an action movie, a horror flick, or a thriller, or a chick flick. You don't ask that last one. But if he's a good guy, he'll say, well, let's go see a chick flick. Be smart. When he smiles and says, I love shoot-em-ups, you know you're off to a great first date because you utilize which form of clarity to persuade him. Let's look down.
You put less.
You think you put less? So explain that.
Well, I was gonna put it on the numbers, but
What do you think it is? Non-word, popped out. Still works. All right, so you think it's less? Why?
No, I think that's potential. I don't remember.
Well, you're framing it. It's the Hollywood 27, right? Are you going to say, showing in screen 1 is this, screen 2 this, screen 3 this, screen 4 this? No. Oh, God, too many choices, right? So what does less help you do?
narrow it down.
Mrs. Jackson, to narrow it down. Why?
Because you know that that's what he likes.
Is that the reason? When you narrow the choices.
It makes it easier to pick one.
Yes, makes it easier to choose one. All right, Les. Number 3. You're coaching a young girls basketball team for your church. Your team has experienced a streak of 4 losses in a row. You can see their morale is waning in practice before the big game against a tall, undefeated team from Nashville. You decide to start 5 guards and you call them the Fast 5. At the big game, you discover the entire team is hustling like never before. Their spirits are soaring, and the subs are shouting from the bench, "Speed kills! Speed kills! Speed kills!" as they pull out a victory. What form of clarity did you employ to persuade your team they could win? Ms. Jackson. Why?
Because you gave them a title that they felt like they needed to live up to.
That inspired them. So this is how the team came together around a concept. Now, the Buckeyes would call the defense the Silver Bullets. My prediction is, in the 4th quarter, the Oklahoma Sooners will be ahead. They're desperate for a win because they've already been beaten once. If they don't win this game, they can't vie for the national championship. They're going to be ahead in the 4th quarter, and the quarterback's going to get cocky. And he's going to put one up, and we're going to get a pick 6, and we're going to win. We're going to win in the 4th quarter.
Is it gonna be in the final minutes, or what's that?
I'm sorry?
Final minutes, or what are you thinking? Just quarter general.
End of the 4th quarter, it won't be decided till the end. I think the defense, the Silver Bullets, are going to come up. All right, label. Number 4. You're trying to sell your car to a classmate you met at Starbucks. You tell them it only has 44,000 miles on it. Your mom bought it new and gave it to you. The tires have only 5,000 miles on them, and you have changed the oil regularly. Blah, 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 blah. Everything's perfect with the car. Then you tell him a lady hit you in the Walmart parking lot 6 months ago, and you show him the slight imperfection in the paint where you had the rear bumper replaced. He smiles and says, "I'll take it." You also smile because you purposefully use which form of clarity to persuade him? Mr. Clay.
Chose blemished
Blemished. Why?
because it helped him.
Mr. Clay needs to be reminded.
The salesman, the person that was selling the car, with him telling the truth and offering that peace of mind, that security, it helped make the other gentleman help make a choice. Help make his choice.
So, is the fact here telling the truth? Is that the issue?
Not the issue.
It's not the issue. Should you tell the truth? Of course. But you should describe something that is wrong with the car, so it's not perfect. Because that conveys that you are telling the truth. It very well may be that you are telling the truth about the mom. Your mom gave it to you, it has this many miles. Exactly. But describe something that's wrong with it, so that he conveys that it's not just a con job. Blemished. Number 5. You've fallen deeply in love with the girl of your dreams, Mr. Hall. However, she's been dating the helicopter star quarterback, and he's impressive. 6'4", blonde, and headed to the NFL. You wonder how you could ever get her attention. When you talk to his roommate, you realize this quarterback is really full of himself and talks non-stop about his prowess on the field. You get the opportunity to talk to your dream girl at a Subway when he's at practice. When she asks you what you're studying, you admit to her that you have your heart set on joining a big dig in Egypt when you graduate. She hugs you with a big smile on her face. She's an anthropology major. And you say to yourself, and she says, "Wow, aren't you something? Football, schmootball," you say to yourself. You just use what form of clarity to finally get her attention? Mr. Meredith?
That's funny. That is potential.
Potential. And doing your homework. Potential. Why? What's potential?
He's telling her things that he's going to be doing instead of things he's already accomplished.
And he has, now, if he's lying, it won't work. She'll find out. You've seen all the chick flicks, when you lie, and it comes in, it won't work. So if you're not going on a big dig, don't say it. Talk about something else that'll get her attention. But don't lie. Potential. Now, we're talking here about framing. Now, I've talked to you about a way to frame that I think is really powerful. And Daniel Pink, he picks around it. But this framing that I'm providing to you is one you can use now. Once you learn it, you can use it over and over and over and over the rest of your life. So take notes. This was provided to me by my very good friend, Jim Singleton. This is called the listener's train of thought. How can you get in sync with what your listener is focused on? So what you always know when you engage in any presentation, when you engage in any form of persuasion, is what you want the person to do, right? You know that. That's your idea. So let's take the idea that you want this young lady to go to the Cincinnati Reds baseball game with you. That's your idea. Go to the game, Cincinnati Reds game with me this weekend. Now then, you ask your first question. What need does she have that will be fulfilled if she goes to the game? See, it's about her. It's not about you. You love baseball. You can't wait to go to the game. So what need does she have? Or needs? So let's examine them. So Ms. Jackson, what needs do you have that would be fulfilled by going to Cincinnati baseball game? What needs? Food. Hungry. Okay, write that down. That's one. Food. Actually, the need is not food. The need is hunger. Now, here's the hint. There are 6 common needs that all people have in varying degrees of intensity. And you already know what they are because we profiled them. There's return on investment. There's leadership. There's peace and harmony. There's theoretical knowledge and discovery. There's helping others. There's guiding principles. And there's aesthetic. Actually, there's 7 core needs that everybody has. Now, there are other needs people have, but those are we know that if you think through those 7, you're going to nail one. And when you nail one, emotion follows. Now, for you, when you're hungry and you get good food, ooh, right? That's good. Now, what other needs do females have that would be fulfilled? Peace and harmony. What's that? So what would that be at a baseball game?
Being with friends.
So being with friends, okay.
I'm a terrible flicker.
Being with good friends, right? Wow, that's great. Even if it's raining, if you're good friends, makes you feel great. Excellent. What else?
Aesthetics, an opportunity for good pictures or shopping.
Okay. So now if it's what's the last part of this?
Aesthetics, I said Cincinnati could be a good city for shopping or it could be an opportunity for pictures.
Could be. Now if it's an aesthetic, if she's motivated that way, then when you walk into the baseball park, it ought to open up like, whoa, wow, okay? Or Cincinnati. Or what we're going to do first is we're going to go to the zoo first. Oh, the zoo?
R.I.P. Grandma.
I'm sorry?
That's where Grandma was. Cincinnati Zoo.
Yeah. Could be the zoo. Could be you identifying what she thinks is beautiful. Aesthetic. Okay. What else?
I would say more on the return on investment side. Personally, I love it, so if it's a free trip.
All right. Okay. So for you, it might be a great weekend. What we're going to do is we're going to stay with our friends up there, and then they're going to go to their house for dinner, and if you can think, oh, this is not going to cost me anything, and I'm going to get this free weekend. I don't care about baseball, but the whole experience I might like, especially if it's free. What else?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. So how would you sell the knowledge? Well, no, to a high theoretical. You might, see, how do you uncover this? You have to ask questions. You might find out that she and her father played chess. He taught her to play chess when she was young. Can your parents teach you to play chess? Yeah, okay. And she said, I just love playing chess with my dad. So you might think to yourself, wow, the need is to do something that is like chess. So you might say, so I would like to take you to a chess match. And at this chess match, the two teams will orchestrate moves, one move after another, just like chess. I'll teach you how to do it. High theoretical, and when you leave, you'll have a brand new perspective, a brand new experience. It'll be an adventure. All those are high theoretical kinds of words. Theoreticals? Raise your hands. See? It kind of goes, when you talk in that kind of language. All right. So you look at all the needs, and you say to yourself, what core need will be most fulfilled if she goes to the baseball game? And you make the decision, it's going to be being with good friends. All right. I'm sorry. That's the need. Now, Ms. Jackson, if this need is fulfilled at the baseball game, what benefit flows to you?
Her being happy.
You being happy?
Yes, you being happy.
And what, so, okay, so happy is one. What else?
So if I'm happy, wait, he'll be able to go? Is that what we're saying?
Well, he's designing an argument to get you to go. And so you said being with good friends and food. Okay? So now when you're with good friends, the benefit of that is it makes you happy. What else? Help her.
Friendship.
Better friendship.
Creates a memory.
Creates a memory. for the sake of the example, let's say that these are the 3 benefits you choose. What's the strongest benefit to you? Creates a memory. So how do you then make this presentation to Ms. Jackson? You say, Ms. Jackson, I want to create a great memory for you. I know that you will love to be with your good friends. So go to the Cincinnati Reds baseball game with me. When you do, it's going to make you happier, you're going to have better friends, and it's going to create a memory. Now, have we persuaded her? No.
Yes.
No. All we've done, I got your attention, don't I? I mean, I've just done that because I've nailed the need, and you want those benefits, but the game of the Cincinnati Reds is like, baseball? Well, but I'm going to get these other things. So what do you have to do? You have to provide evidence now that you're actually going to get that memory at this thing called a baseball game. Now I got to go to work and I got to provide evidence. Now yesterday, I applied this process to one of my clients. And I wanted this client who is a high D, high C. Have any DCs in here? High D, high C. We get it done. It damn well has to be right. Very low I. Won't smile. Big, strong guiding principles. Right, wrong, black, white. And he's taken the company from 0 to 30 million. Over 20 years. He's stuck. And what I've discovered about his company is he is an SOB. He manages by intimidating people. Fear is not a strong motivator. I'm sorry. It is a strong motivator once you're there. What happens when you're not? I'm not doing that. That SOB. So yesterday, I had to get him to agree that he was doing this. I did it. It worked. Today's reading, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Just like you did. And he's going to come out of it and go, oh my God, how could I have been so stupid? He's trying the best he can, but he's trying from this notion of get it right. Make sure you get it done and do it right, and don't you make mistakes. You want to work there?
Not really.
He wants to grow to 100 million. We've got to solve this problem, or we can't go forward. Okay. Now, Frank,
I have a question. So when he goes into a situation like that, and he comes back after he reads the book and he wants to change everything, is he going to have like a conference call with everybody and apologize?
Well, he might. It might be that one of the things he does is he says something, but you can't. You can't talk your way out of something you've behaved your way into. So it just won't work if he says it. He's got to do it. And he's got to smile. And he's got to not beat up on people. He's got to let people do things the way they think they ought to be done. Over a particular time frame, given the parameters, let them do it. So if they screw it up, big deal. They need to learn. Because if you want to get to $100 million, you can't do it by yourself. You have got to engage with your people. And they've got to be motivated. All right. Now, issue for the day.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the S stand for?
Oh, thank you. Subject. Take the number one benefit.
Subject.
Creates memories. Take the number one benefit and you move it to the top. It becomes the subject.
one benefit. I
Yeah,
got it.
it's the best benefit becomes the subject. And then the way you frame it is subject, need, idea, benefit. And I'm just giving you an introduction to this. Don't worry, we're going to do this over and over and over. You get this here, you get it in 424, you get it in 425. You'll be sick and tired of it. By the time you get through 425, you'll get it. And you begin thinking in terms of what needs can I fulfill? All right. Framing. The discovery and creation of problems, rather than superior knowledge, communication skills, or closing ability, will set tomorrow's salespeople apart from their colleagues. What questions do you have? These 6? Go over here just a place. We got 5 and 4. That'll work. You guys in the back row. You got U3, U4, U4. 3 minutes. Go.
She's just trying to get it out.
So also the discovery and creation of problems. All right.
Write that down. Does it matter where?
Trial and error. Experience.
Okay, how does this set, help
Discovery and
How else can you great questions? Yeah, I just, yeah, I would probably,
How important
this has made
We can change it.
how important is real life experience?
No, it was how we're asking the right question, because the chapter is over making sure you're asking the right question, and not just, you know, that's how you solve the right problem.
We're also programmed. How do you, what?
Just solving. No, just setting you apart. Cross out solving, so setting it up. So that's the discovering creating a problem, so you can't fix a problem until you know how to fix it. So there's your real life experience there. And then setting up that time. Set it from the person.
You've asked me a question?
Or the experience thing through the creation of problems. You can't create a problem. So I don't think you know how to
I don't know. It makes sense in my head.
So that comes to you and be like, well, I don't know, I think for this product, why should I buy it? You don't know it. Unless you've been like, oh, I've dealt with that before, this is how I figured it out.
How can about like something like how can you?
Okay, end of the 3 minutes. Now, converge. Identify the one question you would like to propose.
I like them both though. Let's ask him. I don't want to have this job. Which one do you want to do? They're both good. They both deserve a Derry dollar.
Look at the work you do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sounds good. And I think you're asking the right question. Okay, that's fine.
You wanna go with it?
You take that off?
Okay, post them up.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, just take it. You have to text the number first and then.
We talked about this, right?
No.
We haven't.
Does that say OCD or OCP? I'm sorry.
Old, new.
Old.
Neither. I apologize.
Yeah. It's white.
Okay, first question. How does clarity help with the discovery of problems? The old model selling, the one you all hate. First 10%. Relate. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Oh, God, don't you hate that? So they just want to be friendly. 10%. This is called relate. Next. Qualify. Do you have the money? Do you have the authority? Do you have the desire? Once I figure those three, then I exit to present. This is the percentage of time you spend.
What is the second one?
Qualify, present. Relate, qualify, present, close. So you make your presentation. You make it long. You talk about all the features, everything it does, and you bore the person to death. And then you begin to close. I mean, we look at close in the Futrell book. There are hundreds and hundreds of different ways that salespeople have figured out to close the sale. Okay? Doesn't work. Not in an environment of information symmetry. What works? The new model. 40% of the time, you build trust. Once you've constructed a sufficient amount of trust, then you can identify needs. Identify needs. When you begin to probe and ask someone questions, how many of you have been in any kind of selling position before? Okay. Do people lie sometimes when you ask them questions?
Sure.
Sure. Why do they lie? Because they don't trust you. If they trusted you, they would answer honestly. If they knew that you had their best interest in mind, they would answer you honestly. That's why you have to spend so much time building trust. Then you begin to probe. When you probe, you ask a series of questions. I'll explain to you how to do it. How to ask questions so that you determine whether or not the buyer has a need. If the buyer does not have a need, stop. Tell the buyer, as far as I can determine, Mr. Play, You do not need my service. Thanks very much, sir. It's a pleasure working with you. Thanks very much for taking the time. Have a great day. When I do that and I walk, what does he think about me?
Why do I need your service? Why do I need your service?
Well, he says, wow. He didn't try to sell me. No. No need. Don't you dare make a presentation. Because that's what people hate. It's when people try to sell them stuff they don't need or they don't want. Once you figure out what people need, then the presentation is short. You explain to them how they're going to actually receive the benefits when their needs are fulfilled. You want to talk about benefits. You don't need the features. If they ask you about them, you can talk to them about the features. But it's really the benefits that help them fulfill the need. And then what's the close? It's easy. You say, do you want me to wrap this up? Any reason we shouldn't get started right now? No, I want it. I like it. Now, how does clarity help with the discovery of problems? Here is where you uncover whether there's a problem that your product or service can solve. So the whole issue about the discovery and creation of problems is here. This is where you do it. If you can't find a need, don't make a presentation. So, this side of the room, repeat after me. No need.
No need.
This side of the room, repeat after me. No presentation.
No presentation.
This side of the room.
No need.
This side of the room.
No presentation.
This side of the room.
No need.
This side of the room.
No presentation.
One more.
No need. No presentation.
You got it? Stop making presentations to people who don't need it. Clarity helps with discovery of problems. We got that. All right. We got a Derry dollar coming out of this one, right?
What if we both came up with
We
that?
literally both said at the same time.
I did too, actually, it was all three of us.
33 sales last
Flip a coin. Flip a coin. You can't tear it up. It's like a dollar bill. You only want to accept a ripped up dollar bill. All right. How will asking the right questions set you apart from tomorrow's salesperson? Whose question? Why, Mr. Lang?
Well, you have to know exactly what their problem is to help them, and sometimes they may not know, as the chat discussed.
See, this is the quandary of you shopping online. How many of you leave items in the shopping basket? All the time, right? Oh, I love it, I want it. I don't have very many of these. I'll think about it, right? And you never think about it again. It's gone. And the company on the other line said, what happened? What happened? You weren't persuaded. Frequently, we need another person to understand what our needs are. Or second, we may think we have this need, but we have completely forgotten about this one over here. And when you begin to probe here, and you get behind, as Daniel Pink said, remember? Get behind the eyeglasses of the other person and see their world the way they see it. When you do that, then your questions get better. And you can see their world the way they see it. It causes you to ask better questions. So when you ask, so what's your problem? What's the biggest problem you have with that black stuff under your sink? Well, it's not that bad. Let me ask, How long has it been there? As long as I can remember. Have you ever kind of scratched off part of it to see what it is? No. Would you mind if I did? Scratch, scratch. So what do you think this is? Oh, I don't know. Is it moving? No. It's mold. Oh, that's mold under there? I just wanted you to put in a new water filter. I didn't realize I had a leak. Oh my God. Well, don't worry about it. Wait, wait. So if I lift up this board and look underneath. Oh my God, I got a leak. It's leaking down into the basement. So now I've identified the need, right? Now I gotta figure out, is it strong enough? Is this a strong enough need that this person wants to solve it now? And all you do, push on your shoulder, make it painful. Ouch! Right now, I've looked in the basement. It's not dripping on the floor. But you've got one beam that's sagging. Doesn't have to be replaced right now, but if you don't fix this soon, you're going to have to replace that beam. Okay, what do? We need to put in another beam right here. We need to do this and this. How much will that cost? Are they going to buy it? Yeah, because of the implication. If the floor falls in, you've got to identify the need and then connect the benefits of your product and service to the need. And then emotion follows. How will asking the right questions set you apart from tomorrow's salesperson? Actually, it should say today's salesperson, right? From today's salesperson is the old model of selling is still what the other 80% are using. So once you apply this, I can tell you, we have 8 sponsors at our Center for Professional Selling, and they are coming in here to interview you. They like the quality of sales that we're teaching you, because this is the model the successful companies use today. Lennox, one of the leading suppliers of heating and air conditioning equipment in the world. They've hired 6 of our students in the last 2 years. And on Friday, on next Friday, we're going to have, company's name is Gartner. The Gartner Group, who hired 4 of the 6 people I took to the National Collegiate Sales Competition. They are coming in to figure out, like, how did we get 4? Like, what's going on here? And one of them coming in is Shane Milburn, who they went to work for them 2 years ago, and he's going to be here to show the recruiter. We're going to bring in more and more companies to hire you, and one of the reasons is applying this model. Okay, how we doing? 5, 3. What benefits do salespeople get from clarifying problems? What benefits?
The problem is that salespeople want to identify needs and solve the problem instead of just.
What benefits do they receive? You will make more money. Now here, the currency is these, you just got one. Oh, also, who was the last question? Did I get everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So, today, I started with this idea. How can you get what you want? Well, you have to frame it in ways that cause the other person to see that there are benefits to them. When you do this, they'll bite. They'll want to be with you. They'll want to go on dates. They'll want to partner with you. And when that happens, 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 4, 16, 27, because you'll get more synergy and you'll be happier in your life. I hope you have a great weekend. On Monday, we're going to focus on pitch. How to make your presentation. Don't miss it. As they'll say in Columbus tomorrow, or Oklahoma. Oh wait! Hi-yo!